how's it going? Welcome into Extra Time. Cristina Alexander in the studio with Craig Burley and Monsieur Frank Leboeuf.
Oui, bonjour.
And Sid Lowe with us as well.
Sid, cheer up, come on. Hey, Saturday night, I know it's late in Spain. Come on, you'll be opening that red wine shortly, come on.
Yeah, they eat late.
If he's not opened it already, that is.
What makes you think it's exactly? What makes you think it's not already open?
Hey.
Letting it breathe a little bit.
Just tilt that camera down a little bit to make sure there's not a bottle of wine there.
Definitely not doing that. Definitely not.
He's having whenever he's not in camera, he's having a slide on it.
Zip,
Yeah.
What?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Is it just me that does that? Oh, sorry.
Oh, confessions.
No, I know.
Confessions on Extra Time.
Now the bottle is hidden behind the books.
Can't condone that. Sid reads a lot. Do you read? Sid, I have a question for you, Sid. You seem like a very, and I don't mean a busy guy as in like busy nosy, but you're a busy guy in terms of work. But do you get time to read a lot? You seem to read a lot.
No. I wish I had the same book in my bag for about 8 months, travelled everywhere with me, and never even got opened. So during the season, I don't get near it. But obviously, you read a lot of books for work, which normally means dipping in and out of them and taking information from them rather than actually sitting and reading them. But I managed to read a book last week. I was pleased with myself. Actually, read a book for the fun of it instead of for work.
What book was that, Sid? I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, I read again. It's only very short. I read Gabriel García Márquez, No One Writes to the Colonel, and then I've just read a book called Perder, which is actually, talk about a busman's holiday. This is me supposedly reading a book for fun. It's a book by a colleague of mine, a Barcelona-based journalist, talking about essentially I'm worried now that I might be projecting something here that I shouldn't really project. It's talking about the life of a football writer who basically kind of spirals into this depression through the fact that he's watching a team lose but realises that he's the biggest loser of all, and it becomes very dark and very depressed.
Is it a cautionary tale then,
in a really quite bad place, and I was thinking to myself, I'm identifying with this guy a bit too much. I really hope this isn't my fate.
Oh no!
That could be any one of us on here, though, couldn't it? Really, let's be honest. Dark place, spiraling into something that we.
You find out a little bit too much about how football clubs really work.
I pre-ordered a golf book about Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson and their relationship growing up through the years. It's not as deep as the book Sid's been reading. In fact, I couldn't tell you if it's that deep because I haven't even opened a page yet.
Really?
And I've had it since April.
Yeah.
Just sat there on the bedside table, and I look at it every night. I look at it every night and go, nah.
Maybe later.
Yeah, another time.
All right, let's start out with the questions. For Craig and Frank, who do you want Chelsea to sign up top? Dembele, Sterling, Raphinha, CR7, or Neymar? A lot of choices.
Well, we've been over the Neymar one during the week.
Neymar is not going to happen.
No. Don't have to. No. Well, I'm not fussed. Well, I'm not bothered who they sign. It's not my business, really. But I mean, they will have to get some frontline players that can be clinical. You know, Havertz has been a hit and a miss, even though he had a great goal in the Champions League final. Werner's been very disappointing. Ziyech has struggled. I think he's technically very good, but he's been a bit lightweight and he's had injuries. Hudson-Odoi, not sure he's filled the potential, even though he's had an injury that Chelsea thought. I mean, Bayern Munich bid 30 million for him 18 months ago, whatever it was. And then Pulisic, the great American dream, it seems, is in and out and injured, and so they need consistent players, basically.
I don't know. I will pick CR7.
Okay.
Cristiano Ronaldo, because I think they need somebody to finish the actions and score and be, as you say, more clinical. Neymar is not going to happen. I don't think Tuchel wants him because he had so many issues when he was the coach of Paris Saint-Germain.
I think Chelsea would really like Robert. I think from the outside, although I would advocate for long-term building, I think sometimes you need to take some short-term approaches to fill a few gaps, and I think they would really like, obviously, who wouldn't, Robert Lewandowski.
Yeah.
But clearly, the apple of his eye is Barcelona and that huge club. I mean, why wouldn't it be? But I think if Chelsea could get him, can you imagine even in games where it's pretty average to have somebody that can just bang change it?
Raphinha, I think Raphinha won't. If Ziyech stays, I don't see the point of getting Raphinha because there's so much look-alike for me. And so if Ziyech leaves, why not? Raphinha, I saw him playing for Rennes and Leeds last season, and it's very interesting. Sterling, I don't know. I still have some question marks about him. He's been good. He played many games, more than 40 games that season for Manchester City. But sometimes he can be so clumsy. And Dembele, we talked about Dembele a lot. You know, the non-consistency of his football. Of course, the talent is there, but the consistency was we want to see.
Next question. Do you think CR7 could return to Madrid? And if so, where does he play without ruining what Benzema is doing?
Can I say something?
Yes.
It's one of the many, many things that I hate. Not individuals, obviously. It's not talking about that. I'm talking about terminologies. CR7 drives me nuts.
Yeah, you're R9, CR7.
Yeah.
Are you CB something or?
Yeah, I can't repeat it. I just can't stand this CR7 sort of analogy.
You have
He's not a car.
ZZ.
That's the thing. He's not a car. He should be called
Not a
CR7.
car. No,
he's not a car.
I'm not buying a CR7.
Yeah. We have a ZZ.
So the question was, if Sid can return, if so, where does he play? He's not. As Sid was saying, I think Sid was talking about it on the live show. They have a very fine, whilst it's not the greatest Real Madrid squad by any stretch of the imagination, they had a very fine balance about them last year, and that was enough to get them over the line. I mean, if you want to take a player who's probably playing the best football in his career at 34 and make him not play the best football in his career at 35, bring Ronaldo in and see what happens to Karim Benzema. So I don't think that's going to happen.
You say nostalgia or nostalgia?
Nostalgic.
Nostalgia in English. Nostalgia is the worst word for me in the world, you know, in your life, because when you're getting nostalgic, you're getting back to a world you know that it won't be the same. So it brings you regrets. You would love to live that same story again, but it won't happen, and you know that. And it's what happened, maybe it's going to happen to Pogba. It's what happened to Pogba in Manchester United. It's what happened to Cristiano Ronaldo in Manchester United last season. And it might happen the same in Real Madrid. It's going to be nice for the fans to see him coming back, but it's not going to be the same story. And of course, it's not, I think, going to be the same success.
Yeah, it wasn't the same story with Zinedine Zidane. That's what we mentioned as well in the live show. So it's tough. Now, Sid, this one's for you. Which Premier League team will be best fit for Diego Simeone?
Well, I mean, you're talking about a man that resuscitated Atletico Madrid with a very clear sense of how he wants to play, which is not everybody's cup of tea. And so I suppose you look at this now and say, well, look for a club where you can draw certain parallels. And perhaps you say Manchester United, in terms of someone who goes and is given the, if you like, the freedom and the power and the authority to build a team and to try and raise that team up by changing things that are to do with the daily culture as much as the style of play, by changing things that are to do with the attitude towards the way they play. Now look, all of this falls apart a little bit when you talk about what Manchester United historically are associated with in terms of the type of football that they play. It doesn't entirely fit there. I wonder whether some of his kind of charismatic approach could work outside of an Atletico Madrid environment, and particularly in an environment in which he doesn't speak English, and I think that would be problematic for him. So there's a bit of me that thinks that United would be a club, would be an option. The other one, I suppose, is to look down the league and say, is there a club that's potentially quite big, doesn't necessarily have hang-ups about style, but just wants to compete and be tough? And maybe you start thinking, Everton? Everton's a really big club, and I think we sometimes overlook this. This is a big club in terms of its fan base, in terms of its history, but it feels like maybe someone like Everton would suit him.
Everton? Manchester United?
Well, Carlo Ancelotti tried with Everton.
True.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
But for sure, it won't be the Spurs. Spurs won't accept a defensive coach, after Jose Mourinho. I think they had their season with that. It's going to be tough. Yeah, I agree with Sid. I think, why not United? They need a structure. Is somebody who have a structure, a defensive one, but it worked. So why not?
Yeah. Okay.
I think Conte is slightly defensive, isn't he? I mean, they're not similar, but they're not dissimilar in a lot of ways. They like to, like to rule with an iron fist. They like to change things to their own way. It's not exactly a silky style, not quite Mourinho or whatever, but it's kind of, you look at the stats even from last year, and I know he was making changes. There's a lot of times where they were happy just to defend. So I would have said Tottenham, but that was before, obviously, Conte went in there, because he's kind of similar in terms of banging the table and fighting and agitated on the touchline, and that's the way both these managers operate.
The fact that he doesn't speak English will be an issue. I remember Ranieri coming to Chelsea and being our coach for my coach for a season, and he needed at the time a player, and it was Gustavo Poyet who had to translate for him everything he was saying. We would happen to be Gianfranco Zola, but one day, because Gustavo Poyet was on the bench, he refused to translate. So, it can be a real issue.
No.
Translate for me.
No, thanks.
No, but really, I couldn't stop laughing. I love Gustavo.
The word no is pretty universal too, so he probably understood that. Now, Frank, what are your thoughts on Eric Cantona? You never mention him when you talk about great French players.
Eric Cantona was almost banned from the French football because of his comment and his attitude. I love the personality. It was hard to cope with him. I had the chance to meet him in my first cap and his last cap for France when we played in Poland. But I never found difficult to play against him. I played when he was in Bordeaux. I played against him in Bordeaux. And I played when we played against Manchester United, the first season that I played, and we won at Old Trafford. I don't know him, and we barely followed.
Was that the year that Dembele and Vialli scored?
Yes, exactly. Yes. And that was a fantastic assist from Frank Leboeuf.
Frank, I was going to mention it.
Yeah, but I do it because you almost forgot, So.
No, I didn't. I was playing the game, and I was going to bring it up. Don't.
Oh, sorry, I ruined it. Whatever.
He was listening to Frank's greatest hits on his way here.
That's what it is. Yeah. No, but really, Eric Cantona did something fantastic when he came back from his ban. When he hit the fan and everything, and with Manchester United, where they were 14 points behind Newcastle, and he was playing and scoring goals and goals and goals, winning 1-0 for Manchester United, and that's why he's a legend. But he's not like the same legend in France. And he had to make some comment about the national team, like almost in '98 he was following England and not France, where it's sad because Aimé Jacquet again asked him to come as a striker. It would have been fantastic to play Cantona as a striker, and he refused because he wanted to play as number 10.
It's one of the great Sir Alex Ferguson stories told by one of the ex-players about that day at Selhurst Park. For those that don't remember and need to look it up, is when he was sent off, and in the process of walking to the corner where you enter the dressing room, he reacted to a fan in the crowd and kung fu kicked this fan in the head, or tried to, and it was banned for a year, wasn't he?
6 months, I think.
Or months, 9 months, whatever it was. Anyway, he got in the dressing room, and apparently, as legend goes, Sir Alex Ferguson came in and absolutely roasted a few players about their performance. This is true. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. That performance. And then he turned to Eric Cantona and went, Eric, you can't be doing that.
He loved him.
He said, Eric, you can't be doing that, son. That's a bit much. And everybody's going, how's he not getting the biggest rollicking?
No, I know, because I talked with Sir Alex Ferguson about Eric, and Eric was like a son to Sir Alex Ferguson. That was amazing. The relationship that they got. I mean, again, Eric was almost banned from France. Made a try at Sheffield Wednesday, I think, then went to Leeds and won the league with Leeds and signed for the enemy, for Manchester United, and been so successful with Manchester United. I give the credit for that. But when I played against him, I never find any difficulties playing against him. Maybe, I don't know, I was lucky that those days, but that's it. But I have to of course, refer him as a legend because of what he did.
Yeah, as a player on the pitch.
That was fine.
No questions asked.
No questions. But English people, they're not very good in football.
Well, he took 2 penalties in the '94 FA Cup final.
I know, when you lost 4-0?
Yes.
I know.
And he slotted them in. I think he took 2. I might be wrong. I think it was, yeah. And he walked up to the ball and stroked it in as if it was a Sunday afternoon in the back garden with his kids. Seriously, he was like...
He's a great actor nowadays.
Yes.
What are you? Are you not a great actor?
You would say that. I cannot say that.
No, I said, all right.
No,
okay.
but
Hold on, are you telling me you've just taken a humble pill?
Yes, I know. I know. Just now. I thought the effects. I thought the effects of it will be a little bit earlier, but it wasn't. But no. But he's a great actor. I saw him in many movies and in a play, and he's a great actor. Well, he's a complete person.
What is it with you French going into acting?
Well, Vinnie Jones is an actor as well.
By the way,
he's Welsh. He's not English. He's not Scottish. Not Scottish.
He's English.
Yeah. He's Welsh.
He did brilliantly, did he not?
Eric?
No, Vinnie Jones.
In
Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that was great. With
when he's shutting that guy's head in the door.
Is that with Brad Pitt? Movie?
Yes.
Yeah, when he played the
hard guy.
The hard guy. And the Swordfish with John Travolta. You have a question?
No, I need a list of movie recommendations apparently for this long weekend.
Jonesy was a hard boy though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? I remember playing with the first year. We played against Wimbledon, and Vinnie Jones was playing for Wimbledon, and I was smashed in the head on the line by Robbie Earl, who played against, who used to work with us. And the thing is, I was trying to save the ball on the line, and Robbie Earl headbutted me, and never touched the ball, and the ball came in the goal, and the referee didn't say it was a foul and say it's a goal. And I had a bump on my head, and Vinnie came to me and said, "Hey, welcome to England, Frankie." Yeah, we lost 4-2 at Stamford Bridge. That was a crazy game.
Well, what I'm gonna rewatch is A Theory of Everything.
Oh yes, I have a exceptional minute in that movie.
The Swiss doctor.
The Swiss doctor.
The Swiss doctor.
Oh, what's he doing? Moving a plant?
No,
is he coming in carrying like a plant?
Check it out.
I tried to say that Stefan Hawking, played by Eddie Redmayne, has to stop to live. So I want to stop the machine, and his wife will say no. That's a real story because it's a biopic about Stefan Hawking.
I know what Sid's thinking. He's thinking, I'm in Spain. It's very late, and I really don't want to.
He can read a book.
I think I'm very good at reading people's minds. I'm very good at reading people's minds, and I think Sid's reading is why don't they shut up?
I'd rather have the 8-month.
Do you have a question for Sid before he goes to bed?
Question for Sid, Frank, Craig, but we'll let Sid start on this one. What are your thoughts on Lenglet to Tottenham?
I think this is quite an interesting one because Clement Lenglet for a long time I thought was low-key excellent. He would play very steadily, he would be very much in control, and he was not a particularly demonstrative defender, but he would do everything right. For the last 18 months or so, he's been incredibly accident-prone, given away a lot of penalties, made a lot of mistakes, has looked completely out of confidence in a defensive structure that's really not working, and in an environment in which, and obviously you're saying this from the outside and you can never be sure, he just doesn't seem to feel comfortable. He just doesn't seem to feel at home, and has ended up slipping out of the Barcelona team. And to be perfectly honest, right now, isn't a great player. But the optimist in me thinks that in the right environment, with the right kind of structure, with a manager that builds a defence in the right way, that this could be actually quite a useful signing for Spurs. I don't know if they'll play him in a 2 or a 3, but I think if you just want a steady defender who defends well and you can get him physically and emotionally and psychologically right, then I think he can be a useful signing. But it is true that for the last year or so, he really hasn't been that great.
Yeah, I will completely back up Sid on that matter, because Lenglet has been a fantastic player and has struggled the last 18 months. He's going to go back, and I'm sure at Tottenham he's going to be with Conte very useful and do what he has to do, because I saw him like 3-4 years ago. He was huge for the national team and for Barcelona. He was huge. So I want to believe that he can go back to his best. Just want to say to English people that Lenglet means the English.
Oh.
It's not the same spelling, but Lenglet means the English.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, completely different spelling, but true. Frank, I'll stick with you. Now that Zidane...
Please don't. Please don't. Because Sid wants to go, and I'm a smidge behind.
That's okay. It's your night.
Tell me, what days are you in this week?
I just worked today and tomorrow, so I'm going to be out. No, next week I'm going to work on Wednesday, Friday, and next Sunday.
Texting Steve.
Steve, you want to be off those days?
I'm just texting the boss. What day did you say again?
Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday next week. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday next week.
You seen my schedule?
What are you also on Wednesday, Friday? And
Have you seen my schedule?
I say to Steve Palisi, you know, I want to be very close to Craig because I want him to suffer for what he says on TV.
If I didn't need proof that I'm heading out in this show, then I've got it now. Just put me on with you.
They want to give you a hard time, and I am the hard time. They're going to be.
As soon as we're done, we're going to see a dust cloud, and Craig's going to be running out the door.
Hold on, I'm going on Prime. Earmuffs. Earmuffs.
I just love this idea of Craig waking up of a morning and Frank standing by his bed and just saying, "I'm your worst nightmare."
That's almost that, yeah.
No, I'll wake up in the morning and say I'll say what we used to say all those years ago at the old training ground. And it was repeated across the board by almost every player. Russians, Norwegians, Italians, even the French. For God's sake, Frank, shut up!
You know what? I'm very enthusiastic about life, and I have to share it. But people don't get me. That's the main problem that we have. And you know what? Tomorrow, do you have a starting at golf tomorrow at 7:30?
No.
Oh, because I would have been there, just to encourage you.
All right.
Okay.
Wednesday, Friday. Oh my God.
Shall we? Frank, let's try this again.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Now that Zidane has turned 50, can we finally get to hear what Materazzi said to him to make Zidane headbutt him like that in the 2006 World Cup final?
That's something that we cannot say on that channel, I guess. Well, I was told, because I never had a discussion about that with Zizou, but I think he insulted his mother and his sister.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
That was the gist.
Yeah.
Of it.
Well, I've been insulted a lot, and I won't name people, saying that as a French guy I should go back to my country. Yeah, you know, and I won't name name. I wouldn't, but yeah, it can happen. So he shouldn't have reacted.
Dennis Wise.
No,
Steve
because he was
Clark.
playing with me, but some others. Yeah.
All the players.
No, almost, yes.
No,
some people say, "Shut up, you French."
All right, with that, I think
we were actually nice to Frank.
Yeah, they were.
It was a bit of. He loved it.
Friends.
Listen, he loved it.
And on top, I wasn't speaking English. I was talking to them, but only in English.
What do you think you're speaking now?
I don't know, barely, but.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.